Hello world, Shelly here, and it's time for another episode of Foundation Fest, and today I'm going to check out the new release from Essence, the Pretty Natural Hydrating Foundation. Retails for $6.99 for 1.05 ounces of product. Does it say how many mils? Oh, well this says 1.01 fluid ounces. The website says 1.05, and it just says 30 mils, which is usually what they write for 1 fluid ounce of product. I have no idea how much we are talking about here. If it's 1.05, it averages $6.66 per ounce. But who knows if that's accurate? Could be a typo on the websites. I don't know. This comes in 16 different shades. I've got the lightest shade, Cool Porcelain 10. It is described as pretty and natural. That would make it aptly named. Essence's Pretty Natural Hydrating Foundation with hyaluronic acid and aloe vera provides a natural medium coverage finish and weightless feel for up to 24 hours. Who wears their makeup for 24 hours? Leaving you with the perfect combo of pretty and natural. How many times can we say those two words? It is vegan, paraben free, blah, blah, blah. I can't say any words apparently. Vegan, paraben-free, alcohol-free, oil-free, and gluten-free. I'm looking at the ingredients. You know, they call it a hydrating foundation. It's got a couple hydrating ingredients. It looks like it's a dimethicone-based foundation. There's the aloe leaf juice. It's got hyaluronic acid. And there is glycerin. It's the 6th ingredient. And I would rather see it a little bit higher up for a supposedly hydrating foundation. It does have added fragrance at the very end of the ingredient list. Gotta be careful with hyaluronic acid in makeup products if you haven't put down enough hydration to your skin, or if you're living in a very dry climate with low humidity. Hyaluronic acid holds and clings to water. So if you're in a humid environment, that's great. If you have a really good base of hydrating skincare, that's great. But if you don't, it's going to leach moisture out of your skin because it's going to bind to water. And if it can't find any water around it, that's where it's going to get it from. So it can't distinguish between water in your skin and water in the environment and water in your skincare. It's just. So I would like to see some more hydrating ingredients. I feel like I'm a broken record. We just talked about the Catrice True Skin. I'm actually filming this the same day. My skin is angry about this one. This one hurt me, you guys. Now Ziva's gonna dig through boxes, and this is just gonna be a hot mess of videos. But situation I'm in right now, I gotta film as much as I can because as I'm filming this, within the next week, the addition that's being built literally right next to me, they're cutting a hallway into my beauty room, and that's leading to the new addition room. They're going to start drywall, and I'm going to have to cover all this up with tarps, and I'm not going to be able to film. So I'm trying to knock out as many videos as I can in what time I've got before they start that, because I don't know how long that's going to take. They say it can take a couple weeks. Right now, on their timeline, when they say a couple weeks, they mean a couple months. So, yeah. So, we're going to keep on rolling, even though my skin is like, what have you done to me? I washed my face after the Catrice. Now we're going to roll. I've got fresh moisturizer, fresh moisture. We're going to roll with the Essence. Let's take a look at this shade, the lightest shade, 10 Cool Porcelain, swatched against a few others in my collection. Swatch time. First up is today's foundation from Essence, the Pretty Natural Hydrating Foundation in shade 10, Cool Porcelain. Second, I've got from NYX, the Born to Glow in shade Light Ivory. Third up is Wet n Wild Photo Focus Dewy in shade Shell Ivory. Fourth, I've got the Flower Beauty Get Real Serum Foundation in shade L2 Ivory. And last, I've got the Misha Perfect Cover BB Cream in shade 21, which is very similar in undertone to the CYO Life Proof in 101. I've already cleansed, moisturized, and sunscreened this 46-year-old face. I have a damp sponge that I will use on one side, and I was just going to grab... I found my magnifying glass, you guys. This is not my brush, but I found my magnifying glass, you guys. I'm going to use the e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush on the other side. We will see if there's a preference one way or the other. This blends out easily with the sponge. I am noticing a little bit of a scent. It's sort of floral. I do not have a sensitive nose, so if I can smell it, it's a scent for sure. I do have some peeling going on my nose. It's not handling it terribly well, but it is nowhere near the nightmare we just had with the other foundations. So I would say it's a satin natural finish to start out with. Pretty light coverage with the sponge. I can still see all of my sunspots poking through, but there is a bit of cancellation of redness going on, which is good. Let's try the brush side. I think I like how it looks blending out with the brush side just a bit more. It's just a little bit more of a smooth finish, and it's just a bit more smooth looking with the brush. I would say coverage is the same either way, so that's just a preference in terms of I just like it looks smoother. I've got a little bit of product left. Let's see if I can blend out some of my sunspots going on here. And my lovely blue line. I wouldn't call this super buildable. I don't think I got much more coverage. It looks fine, but it just didn't really do very much in terms of coverage. So I think you're probably at, you know, wherever you end up after that first base coat, that's probably about where you're going to end up. Let's zoom in and take a look at this one. It is clinging to the edges of dry skin. It's really only noticeable if I look at it close up. But one thing I'm actually enjoying about how the finish of this product lays on the skin is that it's doing a very nice job at smoothing pores. And I actually forgot to go back in with a primer after I washed my face after the last foundation, so I'm not wearing any primer to smooth my pores right now. My nose is a little bit of a mess. You know, it's sinking into some pores and it's clinging to the edges of some dry skin. Again, I don't think you can really see it at a conversational distance, but up close it's not super cute on my nose. It's not really clinging to any texture between my eyebrows. Forehead looks okay. It looks actually kind of smooth. I think this is it has a nice smoothing property to it, which is nice. I think overall the shade's going to be, it's probably a shade too light on me, but the finish, I would call this a satin finish. It's not dewy. It's got a little bit of a reflect to it, but I'm going to have to give it a minute because I feel like I'm going to probably have to set it. It's staying a bit tacky. We'll see if it dries down. Let's check the time. At least we're making it this far. It is almost 1 o'clock. Let me go put the rest of my face on. I'll be right back. And we're back. Not much has changed. I did have to set this a little bit with some powder. I used the Flower Beauty Light Illusion powder, and it took fine to setting. The only place I'm really having any trouble is my nose. It's just clinging to a little bit of dry skin there. Every place else is looking okay. It's looking all right. I wish there was a little more coverage on my chin, but I do like how the finish ended up. I do think it is, I would call this a satin natural finish, which, true to the name, they're going for a natural look. So I think they have pulled that off quite well. It feels nice. It doesn't feel exceptionally hydrating, which makes me a little nervous. We're in the middle of winter here, so I tend to dehydrate throughout the day as far as my skin goes. So we'll see if there's enough moisture in this to survive. On my eyes, you should have already seen this video. If not, check it out. I've got a comparison of the Alter Ego Blooms palette and the Natasha Denona Love palette. My face is the usual suspects. I've got the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer. I am doing my new favorite blush and highlight combo, the Clarins Jolie Blush in Cheeky Baby and the Wet n Wild Blossom Glow highlight. And my lip is the Maybelline Lifter Gloss in Moon. I am wearing the Wet n Wild Big Papa Mascara, and that's about what we got going on. I'll be back in a bit with a daylight check-in, and I will come back tonight, give you guys my final thoughts. Hello, hello, hello. It has been about 3.5, almost 4 hours, and here we are. with the Essence. Did I do a terrible blending job today with my bronzer? I don't know. One thing I'm not happy to report is that this feels really dry. Really, really, really dry. The fact that they call this hydrating is so not hydrating on me. Like, I already want to wash it off my face. That's not good if you have dry skin. I haven't gotten a good look in the mirror. I'm not seeing anything alarming. Has some coverage worn off my nose? I see some pink on my chin. I don't think I look that great. Look at all my drag lines. I'm so dry right now. Color match. I thought it was a little too light for me, but it might not be. I feel like my cheeks are already... It's freezing cold outside. I feel like I'm getting red from cold already. But here's my skin tone. I feel like, whoa, that's not gonna work. Whoa, I can't really hold it with my other hand now, can I? I was gonna show you my other hand because this one just looks weird in the shade. I might be able to get a little bit of sunlight on me. Let's see here. Whoa, whoa. There you go. Ooh, that's bright. That's some bright light. That is some bright light, y'all. Oh, look at all the drag lines on my forehead. I am feeling dried out. Whew, this one's not going to be so great. It's okay, though. I'll wear it for a little while longer. We'll take a look later on. We will see. I will check back with you guys in a little bit tonight. 7:27 p.m. That puts us around 6.5 hours. Let's take a look at how the Essence Pretty Natural foundation held up. I don't think it's hydrating at all. I know they call it a hydrating foundation. The reason I'm cutting this so short is because I'm about to start my Dungeons and Dragons game that lasts several hours, and my face is too itchy to wait several hours before I wash it off. So, yeah, that I can't deal with. I will say it still looks fairly nice. Like, I'm losing some coverage around my chin, and my nose still doesn't look great. It never did. But other than that, I think it does still look fairly nice. I think it holds up pretty well in terms of blush, bronzer, highlight, and conversational distance kind of a thing. Let's zoom in and get a good look at this one. Basically, I've lost coverage around my mouth and around my chin. My nose has just some product settled into pores, and it's clinging to any edges of dry skin. Pretty much any place else, it looks okay. Blush, bronzer, highlight's still intact. There's a little bit of caking up in between my eyebrows on that texture that I've got going on there, but forehead still looks okay. Like, I don't think it looks too bad. On my temples, it's getting a little bit cakey on the nose ring side of my face, but generally speaking, it's holding up fairly well. It's just that it's so uncomfortable. My face is so itchy and tight feeling right now that I just want to take it off. So, in terms of dry skin, it's a pretty much a no-go. I feel like the two things you're looking at with dry skin, you need to maintain your moisture levels throughout the day, and you need to have something that is not going to accentuate flaking skin if you've got it. And this fails on both accounts there. In terms of maturing skin, fine lines, I think it's okay. It's a nice looking finish. It doesn't settle into lines. It's not doing anything to accentuate texture. It's just that I'm feeling so dehydrated right now that I can't say I recommend it for dry skin. So if I had to give a grade to the Essence Pretty Natural Hydrating Foundation, I think the name is not true. I'm going to give it a D. If you don't have skin that's as dry as mine, or you do not dehydrate as easily, or you do not have flaking skin, it might be okay for you. Those are the three main things that I think this one does not do a good job at. But because it otherwise seems to hold up fairly well,
check on the sourdough.
I'm making some sourdough. Alexa's reminding me. Alexa, stop.
What's the reminder for?
Alexa, stop. Do you guys fight with Alexa like I do? It's inexpensive enough that if you feel like trying it, maybe you try it. But I think if you've got dry skin in the way that I have dry skin, it's probably a no-go. There you have it. Another episode of Foundation Fest is in the books. If you enjoy foundation reviews, if you had fun with this one, if you want me to keep making them, give me a thumbs up down below. Go to geekoutofwater.com and click the Foundation Fest link. I have a ranked, sortable, searchable spreadsheet. I've got 220 plus some odd foundations linked, and all the data's on there. Scroll that puppy to the side. There's a lot of information there. And as always, thanks a lot for taking some time out of your day to geek out over makeup with me. Come back every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern time for new videos. I appreciate your time, and I hope you guys all have an awesome day or night wherever you are in the world. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.